Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I am talking about the cost of living in Idaho Springs, Colorado. Things aren't cheap in this world anymore, but I think you will find a lot of unique savings in this little mountain town. But it is super unique, and there are a lot of different levels to mountain living in Idaho Springs. So I'm going to talk a lot about the housing and then how you're going to save some money on some of the extra things like utilities and property taxes. So if you want to learn all about living in Idaho Springs and the moolah needed to make it up here, this is the video for you. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Sean, and on this channel we make videos about what it's like to live in Colorado. It's as simple as that. So subscribe if you haven't to get updates on every video that we put out. Today we're talking about Idaho Springs, Colorado, a small little quaint cute mountain town that is just about 25 minutes west of the greater Denver metro area. A lot of people know this because they drive right by it as they head to those world-renowned mountain slopes. And it is not a very big town, and it kind of sprawls off into the hills there. And so I'm going to start off talking about housing, but I'm going to break it up into three different sections because there's three different types of living. And we're going to start off talking about downtown Idaho Springs. And I say downtown Idaho Springs because it's not a very big town. It's about 4 streets wide and about a little over a mile and a half long, and so there's not that many homes that pop up, and that's kind of the theme that I'm going to be talking about when I talk about home sales for the area. Because the past 6 months in all of Idaho Springs, there only have been 48 home sales. Not a lot. And within the city limits in the past 6 months, there have only been 6. There are homes available. There are some unique homes because a lot of these properties are miners' properties, not for little kids. For miners that worked at the Argo mine and some of the other surrounding mines, the Phoenix mine and others. But a lot of these homes were built in the 1920s. So what you're going to find in town, a lot of properties are like 800 up to 3,000, but not a lot of them are going to be 3,000, like 800 to 2,500 square feet. And some of them sit because they can be a little bit unique, we'll call it, unique and wonky. Also, some of these properties won't have like a driveway, and so you'll be parking on the street. And so some of these might sit a little bit longer, but I digress. We're here to talk about cost of living. So on average, the properties in town are going within about 2 weeks. These properties will hit the market and they'll be scooped up. These 2 to 3 bedroom homes are selling a median price right now of $565,000. So not too bad for a single family detached home in Denver, but you're not going to get something super spacious. You're not going to have a super big yard, but you are in a very, very cool town. And if you live in town, you kind of have walkability or at least bikeability. If you have a bike, you can easily swoop on over to Minor Street, get yourself some food, go hit the grocery store, and I'm going to talk all about groceries and dining out later in the video. And most of the properties are going to be single family detached homes. There are a couple little trailer areas, and there are a couple townhomes at the first exit if you're coming from the east. There are a couple townhomes over that way. They don't come up that often. They are typically about 1,400 square feet, 2 to 3 bedroom, and selling for about $400,000. So that is the in-town area. The other next area I'm going to draw your attention to is up Fall River Road. Now this is a little bit further away. You're about 15 minutes from I-70 up Fall River Road in an area called St. Mary's. So St. Mary's Glacier, if you're familiar with that, that is where you'll find this little community back in here. And what's unique about this area is they are kind of, some of them are clustered together. They do have a small, I think it's an optional HOA. I think it's like $60 a year, but it gives you access to a couple of ponds that are stocked and just, I think you could rent canoes and stuff like that up there. But those homes are fairly similar in size and similar in the acreage that you're going to get. A lot of them are going to be smaller lots, acre or less. But what's cool, and well, I don't know, cool if you think it's cool, but unique about this area is that it is public water, public sewer, which is unique for an area that's kind of this far remote. So you are up there, and I also want to say you are at 10,000 feet elevation, which means it's going to be cold up there a lot longer. So if you're working from home, working remote, and you want to be tucked up in the mountains, this is a great area. But if you want to be like commuting regularly, you're kind of nestled back up in there. So I get a lot of people that are looking for short-term rentals or rental properties or just second homes back in that area. Now, if you are looking for a short-term rental, I'll talk a little bit about the rules and regulations that that govern these areas, because the rules are different from if you're in town, the town area of Idaho Springs, or if you're in the greater Clear Creek County area, which is what Idaho Springs is in. Just quick fun little fact I always like to point out about the St. Mary's area is that there is this one little area within it called Glory Hole. I don't know why it's called that, but it makes me giggle every time I think about it. So up in the St. Mary's area, home sizes are going to be similar. It's going to be about 800. Some properties go up to 3,000 square feet up there. Like I mentioned, acreage, usually under an acre for the property size. A lot of them are more like closer to like half an acre. Average days on market, they'll typically go in 16 days, so still relatively quickly. And the median price is $595,000. And in that area, about 17 homes in the last 6 months have sold. So more homes in that area have sold than, more than double, than have sold in the downtown Idaho Springs area. But again, 17 in 6 months, not a lot. And beyond that area, so not downtown Idaho Springs, not St. Mary's area, but the rest of Idaho Springs, it's a little bit more unique and different and a lot more eclectic type of housing that you're going to get out there. A little bit more wily, a little bit more rough. The roads will be a little bit more rough. You can get some properties that are an acre or more, but access is typically the point of deflection for a lot of my clients, because getting to them can be either steep or dirt road, and sometimes just like it's definitely four-wheel drive territory. You're a little bit more private, so you have a little bit more privacy, but again, it's a little bit more wily. These properties are typically 2 to 3 bedrooms. Average days on market, a little bit longer, 23 days on market, really just because some of them sit a little bit longer. And then the average price point is right around $612,000. So affordable housing compared to the rest of Denver, still not cheap for a lot of people. And there are a couple bangers. So when I gave you that 612 average price point, I'm excluding a couple like bangers up here, and I think it's called Paradise Valley, where these guys are getting properties with over 100 acres. So those ones are going for like 1.6 to 2.6 million. So they're up there. They're out there. And if you love peeping at houses and you want to take a look at some of these houses, each week, every Saturday, Mountain Time, 8 a.m., I, Sean Murphy, will walk you through every damn new mountain home to hit the market. Not only in Idaho Springs, but I hit every market just west of the greater Denver metro area in the foothills, about an hour. So Bailey, Blackhawk, Conifer, Evergreen, Idaho Springs, Morrison, Kittredge, Genesee, all those areas. So if you like to gawk at these houses, I go from the least expensive to the most expensive, and I do it live on Rumble and YouTube. So it's a great opportunity for you if you want to jump on, ask me questions as we look at these houses together, and do that then. Now let's talk about some of the other costs that you will with your house that you'll be taking on, talking about utilities. And a lot of people are surprised to hear that utilities in Colorado are typically lower, but especially Idaho Springs, they are 14% lower than the national average. And you might say, but why? But how? Well, I'm going to tell you. Typically, downtown area is at 7,500 feet, and then like St. Mary's area is at 10,000. So most of these homes, I don't think I've seen a home up here that has had central air, and so the air is crisp, the air is cool, especially in the evening, and so A lot of people won't have air conditioning. Maybe a window unit for like an upper attic space if it gets hot up there. But people aren't running AC up here, and I love that because you get to keep the windows open. And you get that beautiful mountain Colorado breeze in the house, and that's really nice. And then in the winter, it does get cold. But a lot of these properties, since they were built in the 1920s and late, some of them that are up in the more mountainous regions were like 1980s. A lot of those will have wood burning stoves, so a lot of people will heat their homes with that. And since a lot of these houses, like I just told you, are under 3,000 square feet, it's not too much to heat. A couple items that are slightly higher than the national average would be your transportation cost and your grocery cost. According to pay scale, they are 2% higher for your transportation and 4% higher for your groceries. Just like most mountain towns, things are going to be slightly more expensive because just transportation costs getting items up here is a little bit more. But I don't really notice a whole hell of a lot of difference, but definitely if I'm downtown or down in the Front Range, down in the Denver area, I'm going to fill up my tank there before I head back up the hill. Just save a little bit of that Skrilla. Regarding transportation, if you live in the downtown area, there are buses that do run, buses that'll run you all the way up to Grand Junction, but they're more like, I don't want to say a tourist bus, but more like less like commuter buses and more like long range buses, but they're available. All right, now let's talk about taxes, because I know nobody likes taxes, but you'll hate them slightly less up here in the mountains. So Colorado, we are known for having some of the lowest property taxes in the country. I think we're ranked 4th lowest property taxes, and within that, so the average national property taxes is it says the average is 0.99 according to payscale.com. Colorado overall is 0.48, and Idaho Springs is 0.38, which means if you have one of those in-town properties that's $565,000 is what you paid for it, you are paying $2,147 for your property taxes a year. Woo! If you're coming from New York, New Jersey, or somewhere else, it's like, damn, that's real nice, right? And I know you like that, and I hope you like this video. So if you do like this video and this information I'm giving you today, give me a thumbs up on the video. Show me some love by hitting the thumbs up thing. I appreciate you appreciating me. And then when it comes to sales tax, there is a 5.5% sales tax for Idaho Springs. So 2.9% of that is the state tax, and 2.65 of that is the county tax to make up that 5.5. Is that number equal? I think 5.6, but right around there. Before I talk about groceries, recreation, eating out, stuff like that, let me just first mention that if you couldn't tell with the housing, there is a housing, we call it a housing shortage in Idaho Springs, and there aren't a whole lot of rentals. So one thing that the county is doing is they are putting in a lot of like apartment complexes right off the highway, right where the old high school football field used to be. Also right by Clear Creek, if you live in downtown area of Idaho Springs, right by the Clear Creek Rec Center, which is a newer rec center. It's super freaking nice, and I think it's about $40 a month. And so if you want to hit the gym, you could do it, and it's not expensive at all. That place is hardly ever busy. Maybe it's going to be a little bit busier when they build those apartments right next to it. Hopefully those guys have their own rec center that they go to, but it's a really nice rec center. It's hardly ever busy, and everybody's pretty cool and chill. Now let's talk about groceries, eating out, that type of stuff. So in downtown Idaho Springs, where most of people that live in Idaho Springs are going to be going to shop, there's a King Soopers. Like I said, groceries are about 4% higher. If you're eating out, which I like to do a lot, there are a whole lot of great places to eat. Tommyknockers, Westbound and Down, Pickaxe. I like Pickaxe Pizza better than Bojo's Pizza. But then there's all kinds of little shops and great local restaurants to eat at. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to tell you. Yards Barbecue. Yard House Barbecue, amazing barbecue place. So it's hard not to eat out because there is so much good food up here. And it's kind of like a touristy area. So there's just a lot of people catering to the people that make a pit stop here in Idaho Springs. But you will be paying, I mean, for an average meal, you're looking about like $18 to $25. You throw in a couple like $6 or $7 beers and then an appetizer. You're easily spending like a night out for two people, $100 if you're getting an apps, a couple drinks, and meals. So I think it's pretty standard for what you're going to find in Denver. However, what's cool is if you live up here, they give you a lot of places will give you a 10% local discount, which I don't see that many places, and I think that's pretty freaking sweet. So that's cool. And all this savings is going to be needed because we are in an area that you have access to all the cool things to do in Colorado. Mountain biking, off-roading, snowboarding, skiing, fishing, just hiking, all the things are accessible to you up here. So it's nice to save a little bit of that Skrilla. And there are the free activities like hiking, mountain biking, if you have a bike. Mountain biking, road biking is super popular out here. And then there's the more expensive things, like skiing and snowboarding. Loveland Ski Resort is just about 35 minutes up the road, so definitely an area that people like to live here, kind of live cheaply when possible because they want to spend money on all the toys to go have fun out in the foothills. And you're probably going to want a ski pass if you're into that, but ski pass this year for Epic, I think the Epic ski pass was about $850, and the Icon pass was right around $1,200, getting expensive. But if you go often enough, you definitely want to go. But if you don't have gear yet too, you're going to be spending more moolah. There are all kinds of rental places out here, so like Mason to Ski, to grab your ski gear before you head up the slopes. There's not whitewater rafting, but mine tours, if you're going to go do the mine tours. So there's all kinds of fun stuff to do around this area. And I didn't even mention you could go have fun over at the casinos over in Central City or Blackhawk, which is just like 20 minutes away. I'm telling you, everything is accessible. Idaho Springs is a super unique area, and I would not isolate your home search just to Idaho Springs because, as I told you, properties don't come up that often, and even when they do, sometimes they're so unique that it's going to be like an automatic no-go based on like the layout or the location, their access, or something like that. So typically my clients, when they're looking at properties, they're looking kind of this area. We're looking at like Georgetown, we're looking at Idaho Springs, Blackhawk, Central City, Conifer, maybe Evergreen, maybe not Conifer, maybe that's a little bit too far, but those are some of the areas that they'd be looking at as well. But if you do end up in Idaho Springs, count yourself as lucky because you really have all the Colorado activity is super accessible to you, and you're only 25 minutes back down the hill. So if you do need to go to Best Buy or you want to go see a Red Rock show, 25, 30 minutes, and you're there. So that's super awesome. And if you're looking to get started with your search to find your somewhere in Colorado, you got to hit me up. One of the #1 relocation teams up here in the foothills. And so give us a call, shoot us a text, and it's email. There's a link below for you to go check out our website and reach out to us that way. We love helping out. We love our YouTube people. So yeah, go check out some of our other videos. We have a couple others on Idaho Springs or other areas if those might be a better fit for you, and definitely check me out and come hang out with me on Saturdays at 8 a.m. All right, see you guys.